Simple Phone Tech here with an installment in the basic series, and today we're going to talk about how to install and uninstall your applications for your iPhone. Before we get into the App Store, you want to make sure that your phone has an Apple ID, because that Apple ID is going to allow you to be able to download from the App Store. If you're not familiar with what that is, that would be your unique identifier that tells Apple that the phone that you are using is your phone. Now, if you're not certain if you have an Apple ID, to check that out, you can do so from the settings. So you'll want to find your settings icon, which I have it on the home screen, my first home screen right here. So I'll tap on that, and you'll see iCloud right here in the main page of the settings. So if you start from top and you scroll down, you'll see iCloud. I don't know if you noticed that, so let me pull the phone up just a little bit closer. Underneath iCloud, it's got the email address. That's my Apple ID there. If you do not have an Apple ID, you'll just see the word iCloud. You won't see anything underneath there. Also, to give you an idea, when I tap on iCloud, again, if you have an Apple ID, it's going to have your name or whatever name that you have up here, as well as the email address that you put in for your Apple ID. If you don't have anything, this information will be pretty much clear, so you won't see any of this. You'll see an option instead to be able to actually type in your Apple ID if you have one, so your email address, whatever email address that you use for your Apple ID, and the password. Or if you don't have an Apple ID at all, or just want to create a new one, you'll see an option below. Again, this won't be here at all, but you'll see an option that'll say create an Apple ID, which then, as long as you have a high-speed internet connection, then you can go ahead and create that Apple ID. Now, what I'll do is in the description below, if you prefer to use Apple's website to do this instead of your phone, I'll put the link to the website to where you can create an Apple ID. Once you know you have an Apple ID, then you're going to want to make sure you have a high-speed internet connection so that you can complete the download just fine. In my case, I'm connected to my cellular provider. It shows LTE at the top. Of course, you can also do this if you're connected to home internet and you're on Wi-Fi. That should provide you with a high-speed internet connection just fine. You're going to want to look for the App Store icon on one of your home screens. And it's on my first home screen, so I'll go ahead and tap on that icon. If you haven't used your App Store lately, or if you've never used it at all, you should probably see this screen here. It's the featured screen. It's going to give you groups of the popular applications that's trending. And if you know exactly what you're looking for, instead of having to search through all of these, they've got a convenient search function. And so you just tap on that little icon. It'll show you a trending screen, what's popular, but at the very top of that screen you're going to see a gray bar in which you're going to be able to tap on so that you can type in what you're looking for. In this case, we're going to go ahead and type in Twitter. And as you're typing, similar to Google or most search engines nowadays, you'll start to see a list of suggestions. If you don't see this list, that's fine. Just go ahead and type in what you're looking for exactly and then tap on search. Otherwise, I'll just go ahead and tap on Twitter, since that's where I'm going. Once you're there, you'll see Get. And since this is free, you're not going to see anything like a price below it. So we'll go ahead and Get, and then after that, we'll go ahead and tap Install. From there, you might run into it asking you for your Apple ID password, just to confirm. And then you also might see the option to buy once you type in your password. I had a customer the other day ask me about this. Of course, since there's no cost to it, you're not being charged for it, even though it says buy. I think that's just kind of there by default for any sort of application that you download from the Apple Store. That's just what Apple put in place. So if you have to put in your password, it's going to ask you for that for your Apple ID. Then you hit buy. I just happen to get this pop-up in this case, which is asking me if I always want to use my password anytime I download an application. It says additional purchases, but again, we just discussed here, as far as it's going to say buy, even though it might be free, the application itself. It's going to ask you if to always require it, or require it after 15 minutes if you're not in the App Store for more than 15 minutes. It really doesn't matter in this case for me because I'm not going to download anything anytime soon. I'll just go ahead and select that. Either selection is not going to kill you. So now, as you can see, the little progress meter, it's going through and installing. And when it's done, there we go, it'll say open. And then you can either open it from here, but what I'll do is instead I'm going to go ahead and press on the home button to go back to the main screen. And you'll see, obviously right there on one of my home screens is a Twitter icon. And that's how you install an application. And now that we know how to install, let's go ahead and talk about uninstalling. And that's really simple to do. So I'm going to go ahead and select the application that I want to uninstall. And we'll just take the one that we just downloaded here. I'm going to lightly press and hold the application that I want to get rid of. And when I do that long enough, I'm going to see all of the applications begin to wiggle. If you can see that. And not only will they wiggle, you'll see that not all, but most of the applications are going to have that little circle with the X on it on the upper left corner. So you can see that on both screens there. That circle with the X in it is going to be your opportunity to be able to uninstall any application. Now, even though I was focused just on Twitter, I'm actually going to have the option to be able to uninstall any application that I want to, if I feel like doing so. So I'm not restricted to doing just one at a time. So with that, let's just go ahead and get rid of Twitter. I don't want to do any other applications right now or uninstall anymore. So I'll go ahead and press on that little circle with the X, and then you'll get a pop-up message. It's basically asking you, are you sure if you want to do this? And it's going to get rid of the application and any information involving that application. So yes, we want to get rid of Twitter altogether. So I'll tap delete. And Twitter is gone, so you don't see the icon anymore, and it's been removed from your phone. And again, you'll still see the option to be able to uninstall. You still see the wiggling going on there. You still see the circle with the X through it for the applications that Apple allows you to be able to uninstall. If you do not want to go ahead and uninstall any more of the applications, when you're all done, you just press on the home button. The wiggling stops, and those little circles go away. And one last thing, just in case, if you have an iPhone 6S or 6S Plus, 7 or 7 Plus, and the Force Touch feature is turned on, just be cautious as far as how hard you press on the application you want to get rid of, because if you press and hold too hard, it's going to pop up the Force Touch options. So that's where, again, you want to press and hold light enough to, instead of getting the Force Touch, you get the option to uninstall. Alright, and so that is how you install and uninstall an application for your iPhone. Again, this is part of the basic series, so this is very straightforward, sort of a 101 beginner type of thing if you're just getting used to an iPhone. So with that, I hope this video was helpful to you. Again, this is Keep It Simple Phone Tech, and thanks for watching.